contact with me.
And so thinking of a Target or a Walmart run, is there a list of recommended items that I need to bring to campus?
Absolutely. So we are definitely going to update the website. There will be a section specifically for move-in that will provide you with so much information and letting you know what to bring, what not to bring, different things that might, bring that little home life back to you while away from home. We'll also have a nice little video just to show you different things that you can and cannot bring. So definitely stay tuned for that, and we'll definitely be updated on our website.
Awesome. So thinking through inside of the residence hall, how will the cleaning services be conducted, and the opportunity for some of the residence halls have communal bathroom? How will that be navigated in the midst of a pandemic?
Thank you. Great question. So as we navigate the pandemic, there has been a lot of things we have had to reevaluate and look at. And we have been planning since our students left campus at the start of the pandemic. And so we have to increase our cleaning, especially in buildings where we have communal bathrooms, increasing that cleaning to 3 times a day. Even our common areas, so bathrooms within the lobbies, even the lobby areas, just making sure that we clean that more frequently than in the past, because again, safety is very important. So what we have identified many different ways, and we have cleaning staff in place when students return. Working with our partners, Campus Apartments and Corvius, we have both identified plans to increase the cleaning in all of the buildings.
Awesome. And so as we think through the residence halls, can you all speak to where our students are staying, any of the historical context for some of the residence halls, and any of the renovations that have also happened?
Yeah, so I guess we can all popcorn and talk about the different buildings. I'll talk about Quad. So Quad is the newest renovated. Quad is very popular and one of the oldest on the campus. As you know, the Quad now has interconnectors that connect the buildings together. And mostly our freshman females stay in the Quad. It's a place where they build a community. A lot of our students, you will hear the ladies of the Quad, and they step and they stroll. So Quad, I would say, is probably the place to be for our freshman females.
Oh, excuse me. And College Hall North is also one of our female freshman residence halls, which is a double. They're all doubles, and each student has their own bathroom with their roommate. So it's a much closer knit community because it's just you and your roommate, versus the Quad, where it's pretty much an open door policy. But both residence halls are phenomenal. I absolutely love the Quad, and I worked for College Hall North as well as a resident assistant. So both are great choices for female freshman students.
So I'll talk about Drew and Cook, which is very popular amongst our freshman males. Drew and Cook Hall are really popular. They have the Men of Drew, they have Step and Stroll, but also it's a place where our young men build a community. I think that they find their best men in their weddings. They find their best friends in Drew and Cook. So it's very popular. Yes, it may be an older building, but our students really enjoy their experience over in Drew and Cook Hall. And again, there's also a barbershop over there as well, if you need a haircut.
Awesome addition.
And for the ladies in the Quad, we are renovating the lower level of the Quad, and we are also have included a beauty wellness where the females will also get opportunity to work on their hair and so forth.
Awesome. So we received a lot of questions about the perimeter of campus and the safety of campus for students that are residential living on. Can you all speak to the partnership that you all have with campus safety and the safety around campus?
So that partnership with campus safety is a strong partnership. Again, that is an area where we have focused since the start of the pandemic as well. Weekly conversations with campus safety just to improve the overall safety on campus. So we have cameras on the outside and within our buildings as well to protect our students. We have systems in place whenever there's an issue on campus where you'll be notified. If there's something going on in the area, it can be down the street. You will still be notified by text and email. So campus safety is something that we always focus on, making sure that it's a safe environment. If our students walk from their residence hall to class, we want to make sure that they are safe. Yes, I'm not going to lie to you and say there's not crime in the area, but although there's crime, we know that our campus safety department is taking care of us.
Yes, and in addition, I want to add that we have 24-hour concierge service at the desk. That means that somebody is at the desk 24 hours a day. In addition, we have adult staff that live in the building, resident directors, and of course we have our graduate assistants, and also we have resident assistants, which are our student staff workers.
Awesome, awesome. And as we continue thinking through life on campus, and so this is an added question here for you all, but are our students able to bring their cars their first year of campus?
So good question. So first year on campus, you are not able to bring your car. And the reason is because one, there's limited parking, and that parking, we want to get that parking to our upperclassmen. Especially with our upperclassmen not being our priority on campus, we want to make sure that they do have the opportunity to drive to campus and have somewhere to park. So once you get past your first year, we can talk about you having a car on campus.
Also, I want to speak to that piece about the juniors and seniors. Well, due to the university's commitment to prioritizing freshmen, sophomores for on-campus housing assignments, we just do not, in the spirit of transparency, we do not anticipate being able to accommodate many juniors and seniors on our residence halls this year. So we understand that this might be difficult news for our juniors and seniors. However, we are still in the process of investigating feasibility of securing additional space off campus. We also, and I think Mr. Cervantes will speak to this later, but we're also have the Office of Off-Campus Housing, and there's going to be a virtual fair on Thursday, May the 27th. I'll let him tell the details on that, where we will actually help our juniors and seniors to find off-campus housing or make referrals.
And also, as a plug of note, in our calendar on campus ESP, the access to the link for registration is available. So if you have a profile, you can find it there as well. So we do have questions here from more incoming parent and families of their bison about the cost of housing. Does it depend on the specific residence hall that you choose?
Yes. So all of our residence halls have different room types, and per each residence hall, there will be a different cost for that residence hall as well as that room type. So College Hall North, since it is a double room with a bathroom within the unit, it will cost more than the Quad, because the Quad has communal style residence halls. Same thing for Cook and Drew. Because Cook Hall has bathrooms with inside of its units and Drew Hall has communal, Drew Hall will be less expensive than Cook Hall.
Thank you for that. And that also continues with the conversation of on-campus meal plans. Are those required, mandatory, and can you speak a little bit about them?
Yes, so meal plans are required for any student that lives on campus in a residence hall. If you have less than 60 credits, which will be all of our first and second year students that lives within a underclassmen residence hall, you are required to have a meal plan. You are able to make changes to your meal plan if you would like a different one rather than the traditional 14. And for that, you would want to contact the Bison One Card office for additional assistance on the meal plans that you may qualify for.
And I would just add that we also, as our students stay on campus, we want to make sure that they have food to eat on campus as well. So that's the reason why it's required. We don't want you to come to campus and then you call home and say, oh, I'm not able to eat. I don't have a meal plan. We want to make sure that our students, because that is a part of the learning experience as well, that they also eat, bring food as well.
Right. So, yeah, and the thing, the literature says that, and this is one of the reasons that we have the freshman and sophomore expectation to stay on campus, is because as Walter said, it is a learning curve, from being at home, coming to a new environment. We want to make sure that they're on campus where they can be a little bit more safer, and also they're in a position where they will be able to access adults in the event that they need to in a hurry, and also that they will have access to the cafeteria so that they can make sure that there's access to eat as well. I do want to say also a little bit about the cost that was mentioned earlier. The cost of the different residential facilities are contingent upon, just as you would in an apartment complex, it depends upon how the facility is created or how it's made. And like Ms. Lamar said, the restrooms and things like that. Those are all areas that really make a difference, whether there's a larger room, square footage, whether there's a stove or, kitchen. Some of the Howard Plaza Towers apartments are situated so you have your individual room, but maybe you share common areas or common living area or kitchen and so forth. So all of that is all the costs are on the website under Residence Life, and you can see the differences in the different apartment complexes.
So questions here regarding next steps within the residence hall. So while all of our students there is a requirement for vaccination to return to campus and to live on campus, what happens, or what are the procedures that are in place for quarantine of students that may contract the virus?
Good question. Thank you. So within our residence hall, we have isolation spaces. And so those spaces are set aside for students that test positive. Because although you may be vaccinated, there are some instances where students will still test positive. So in that case, the student will move to isolation and isolate until they receive a negative result. We will be in constant contact with that student, so we'll make sure that they have the food they need to eat. We'll make sure that they have all of the needs in that space, and they'll also be in contact with our student health department to make sure they are cleared to move forward and move back to the population.
Awesome. And also an added question here. So I have my assignment, I've moved in, but in October, right before finals, or no, right before midterms, I have an issue or an argument with my roommate. How are those handled?
Another good question. So we train our RAs to deal with roommate conflicts or to deal with any type of conflict. So our first step in that process would be contact your RA. And again, you can go to your RA as an individual, or if you want to go as roommates, you can go. But just kind of talk out the situation. And if the RA determines that, oh, there's nothing that can be done here, then at that point, we would get the graduate assistant and the building manager involved. No, you're not in trouble, but it's just that you cannot work out the differences. So maybe we need to have a mediation, or we need to talk about it a little further to make sure that it's okay for you to stay in the room or it's not okay. And what we try to do then is try to come up with some type of plan to move forward. And if it doesn't work, we can look at option of relocating an individual that would like to move, or we would just continue to work on that issue.
Right, and also to add, and again, back to the whole student development piece is what we are asking students to make sure, or to try to understand how to resolve, mediate, or conflict on their own. And just to share, we had a situation last year where the students were, just kind of having some roommate issues and so forth. And out of it was born a podcast that a group of students created called Dear Roommate. And it's on the Apple Store. If you get a chance, you might want to look at it. It's kind of funny in some instances and sad in others. But again, it was just an opportunity for students to develop and try to understand and create expectations as to how to resolve their own issues.
And so we'll switch gears here just a little bit to add into not only the housing and residence life experience, but also the campus life experience. And so what activities do you all know of that students can participate when they move in between August 5th and the 15th and as we prepare for Bison Week?
So as we are developing our move-in plan, and as you saw those dates, we will have events going on each of those nights of move-in. We don't want students to come and just feel bored as soon as they arrive. So we will have things going on leading up to Bison Week. Bison Week is a fun time, so we will have things going on Bison Week. And as the school year starts, we will have a plethora of events going on with our student organizations, our resident assistants, whole programs. So we will have a lot going on campus. And then one thing that we incorporate as Residence Life, we have Res Fest. And that's when we get to see all of our residence halls basically compete. We have stroll, step, field day, and they compete against each other. And so I think that's where a lot of the unity for our residence halls comes from, the Res Fest.
And then, well, to prepare for Bison Week and programming that will happen, the Office of Campus Life has a significant amount of programs that will begin in August as we welcome our students for a return to campus. And so for Bison Week, in celebrating HU24 and HU25, we will have numerous student-focused and student-led events, including our infamous but also very fun Rep Your City, where students have an opportunity to show where they're from, a Taste of Howard, which is a showcase of all of our wonderful organizations, including our Greek life organizations, as well as different socials for students in different intersections of life. And so it's a hectic time, it's a wonderful time, but the campus is all for our students. I would like to say, if you are an alum and you've experienced the pinning ceremony on the very last day, we are having the pinning ceremony for both HU24 and HU25. This will occur on Sunday, August 22nd, the Sunday right before school starts. The pinning ceremony will be on August 22nd, right before school starts, and we will have a grand celebration safely for both HU24 and HU25. If you follow the Office of Campus Life, on July 12th, we will have our full schedule of Bison Week events and Spirit Weekend events for everyone to see. Some events may require a level of registration in preparation for social distance and compliance with guidelines. So we encourage our students and our parents to follow us in our community on campus ESP, as well as to follow us on social media so that you can stay up to date. But if you save the date, July 12th, Bison Week and Spirit Weekend events will go live with registrations and information about each theme. I'll pull up my questions one more time. And so we did receive a lot of questions here just regarding the decision to give priority for our first time in college freshman students and our sophomore students. I know that we spoke a little bit before about that, but could you elaborate on what that decision was and the impact that it would have?
Yes, so our normal housing policy has always been freshmen and sophomores. But I will just add that we are in a great place right now, Howard. Our enrollment is high, great things are happening at the institution. So we have many students that want to attend Howard University. So I won't say it's a bad thing that we don't have enough housing, but we're just at that point where we don't have enough housing to house every student at Howard University. So I will say that the institution is working on plans to improve that, and as a part of our Howard Forward plan. But as we get there, it's just going to take us a little bit of time to get new buildings and to seek off-campus options.
Right. And also just to add that our off-campus housing and community engagement is just a wonderful opportunity, because there are obviously some housing that are kind of intermingled. We are in an urban environment, and some of the housing areas are right in our own backyard, and in some instances closer to some of the actual housing buildings that we have in our portfolio. So make sure that if you are a junior and senior, definitely check it out and see some of the things that they have. We know that the Axis, which is right on Georgia Avenue, and it's right above the Starbucks, and they have vacancies now. They have over 100 vacancies, and if you are a junior, senior, and with our status that we have now, you might want to just take a look at that and see if there's something, is that an opportunity. We also have some other opportunities. So again, just visit the Office of Off-Campus Housing and Community Engagement to see what's out there.
Yes, and I can just add that we have our virtual off-campus housing fair on Thursday, May 27th from 12 until 2. You can access that by going to studentaffairs.howard.edu, click on housing, then go to off-campus housing, and you'll see a link where you can sign up. We have many properties that will be there talking to our students about housing availability in their communities.
All right. And so an added question here as we narrow down, as we think through if our bison are on campus and there's an emergency that happens, what are some of the protocols and procedures that students can participate and that parents can know about to support their student in the event of an emergency?
If there is an emergency, we definitely reach out to the parents. It depending upon what the situation might be, we will ask the student sometime to reach out to the parent. That's a little bit better for the parents to hear and make sure that everything's okay. But if it's a true dire emergency, we don't hesitate. We make sure we get the parents and families involved, simply because it's the right thing to do. We have an Office of Student Services that look into those types of things. We visit hospitals in the case we hope that doesn't happen, but we've had to do that. We've had to visit residential rooms really late at night to just make sure that things were okay. So this is why we're here. We're student affairs. We're advocates for students. We provide our information so that you may get in contact with us any time of the day, just so we can make sure that you have the comfort to know that your child is safe.
Awesome, thank you. And we also had several questions about the variances of other options for vaccines and medical requirements that students have. So are our students also required to still receive other required medical vaccines and provide those records in preparation for the school year?
Students are expected to make sure that they are fully vaccinated, have all their immunizations up to date prior to attending the campus. And they can go on the website to see all the different types of immunizations, or you can go to MedProctor. MedProctor.com, I believe, is the address. Just so you know, also, we are creating an FAQ, frequently asked questions, because I know that we didn't get to all the questions, and we want to make sure that we do, and that way we can just provide information so you'll know exactly what to do or where to go should you need reference and so forth. So as it relates to immunizations, other than the COVID, you also, those things need to be taken care of as well.
Awesome. So before we leave and transition, Mr. Servance and Ms. Lamar and Dr. Evers, if you all would like to reinforce some priority dates that our parents and families will need to know as we move into the summer, that'll be helpful.
Yeah, so our FTICs and our second year students received an email today as it relates to the housing fees and application and all of the steps that need to do to receive an assignment. I would say students, please make sure you take a look at that email, share it with your parents so that they have that information as well. Start paying that housing deposit on Monday, complete that application, make sure you upload that COVID vaccination card so you can receive that housing assignment. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email us at hureslife@howard.edu, or you can give us a call. We have a call center set up for you to give us a call if you have any questions.
And Mrs. Ross, can you verify again the different fees? One is 50, the other one, okay.
So our FTICs, first time in college, HU25, there is a $50 non-refundable application fee. And for our second year students, HU24, there is a $200 housing deposit. and both of those can be paid on the Howard ePay system.
And so from the look of our poll as well for our housing deposit, a majority, about 75% of our parents and families have not paid their housing deposit yet, but that email was sent right before this town hall started. So you have an opportunity to complete it as well. Well, I would like to take this time just to say thank you to our campus partners for participating and answered questions. You all are doing a phenomenal job in a virtual space and as we welcome our students back to campus. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing and the efforts that you're putting in as well. And so parents and families, as we navigate and continue to share information, I ask that we can give grace, right? And so it's a lot of you coming, it's a lot of parents and families, and we are working very hard. Our housing and residence life team, they are working extremely hard to respond to all of you. But if we don't get back to you within an hour, but the next day, still count it joy, right? And so just make sure that we are working together to make sure that our students can be welcomed. We appreciate all the work that they're doing. We can't say that enough. So before we end today, I would like to have some save the date opportunities for our parent and family programs. So we will have a Bison prep session in tandem with new student orientation, which is an onboarding opportunity throughout the summer. This will be virtual, but the parent specific live session will be June 29th at 5 p.m. Eastern time. This session will be recorded and it will have a replay available on July 2nd. And so we invite you there, where we will have small conversations within our hour time slot with different resources that are available to parents as we transition our student from being in your home to their new home on campus. But please also save the date for June and July. We will have virtual town halls with our partners in financial aid and student accounts, as well as in student services and student health in July. The registration and more information will be provided via Campus ESP. So please make sure that you have a profile and you are updated there to receive all the information that we have as we confirm that date and open that registration. As we prepare for our move-in time during August 5th to the 15th, we are working with the Office of Alumni Affairs to have a legacy parent and family move-in reception. And so this will be offered in multiples throughout the time on different days, and those dates are forthcoming. But if you are an alum of Howard University, there will be an opportunity for you to connect with the Office of Alumni Affairs as we welcome your Bison to continue your legacy here at Howard. And as well, don't forget the HU24 and the HU25 pinning ceremonies are happening. August 22nd, we will receive and provide more information after July 12th, but this is a great, unique, and honored tradition for Howard University so that we can onboard and welcome our students properly. And then as well for contact information. So to join this session, you had to create a profile on Campus ESP. So please join us. This is our official and primary way to advocate, to provide awareness and connection for our parents and family. It is a community, so we see your questions, we provide updates. And oftentimes with parents and families, your student is the first person that receives any communication from the university. We like to offer this space to reinforce the opportunity that you all have. So you may not receive it the same day that your student has it, but probably the very next day, you will have that information uploaded to the portal with the resources that you need to be successful and to help your student to be successful. So we invite you to please follow our official and only social media account for parent and families, which is Bison Family on Instagram. Here's the email that we have here, bisonfamily@howard.edu. I'm responding to it and I see all of the emails and I try to provide as much response as I can to you all, but please make sure that you're following us and you're creating a profile on Campus ESP. Again, that site is howard.campusesp.com on your screen. And so we will provide, as Dr. Evers shared, an FAQ. We know that we could not answer all 500 questions that we received, but in the coming week, you will see an FAQ of answered questions or most frequently asked questions that we can provide here. As well, we can upload the graphics that you see with pertinent information on our calendar within our housing and residence life community on Campus ESP. This session is being recorded, and so it will be snipped to provide bite-sized information and guidance, which will also be uploaded to Campus ESP for your reference and convenience throughout the summer. And as always, please make sure that you are following the Division of Student Affairs on our social, Howard Student Affair on Instagram and Twitter. Please stay connected to us. Again, I'm Dr. Ashley Tillman, and I serve as our program coordinator for Parent and Family Programs and the Interim Assistant Dean of Campus Life. I want to offer a space for our panelists to say goodbye if they would like to. Don't be shy.
Okay, I'll go first. Just want to say thank you so much for joining us tonight. And please, parents and students, no question is too small, or no, feel free to ask us any types of questions, and often. You have the information in front of you as to how to get in contact with us. We have a call center that we've created because we know we're going to get a lot of calls. And we have additional staff to support with emails and things of that nature. So please feel free to reach out, because we want this to be just a tremendous, wonderful learning move-in experience for your child.
Yeah, I would just add to that. I know you have been waiting to hear from Residence Life and University Housing. And the reason why we want to get it right, we want to make sure that we give you the information right. Again, we are now starting the process, and it's going to be moving really fast. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We are available to help you.
And last but not least, we are looking forward to welcoming you all to campus. From one Bison to another, we look forward to welcoming you all in the fall.
Awesome. Thank you all again for your time and providing all of these resources and this wonderful knowledge to our parents and families. We cannot wait to see your Bison in the fall, and we will be in communication with you throughout the summer. So please stay well and get ready for a wonderful year. All right. Have a good evening, everyone. Bye-bye. Mm-hmm.